Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ari, and hopefully you'll stick around for a quick video. Okay, so today's video is kind of a story time. I want to talk a little bit about when I first got my ears pierced. So hopefully you'll stick around and listen for that. So for me, getting my ears pierced was a really big deal. It was kind of my first step into transition. It helped me feel better. It was a little feminine touch of something I could do, but I did it before I had actually came out. And what's interesting is I've always wanted my ears pierced, but it just wasn't something that I would do. Growing up, I never asked my parents to get an ear piercing. That wasn't something I asked for, because it was pretty much a given that guys just didn't do that. Most of the guys during the time frame when I was a kid that did have an ear piercing only had one ear pierced, only the one ear, whatever, I don't know. And I always thought that looked so stupid. I didn't want one ear pierced, and I would have never been able to deal with just wearing studs. But anyway, so I've only had my ears pierced since March or April of 2017. So the place that I worked actually does ear piercings, and for quite some time I had talked about getting mine done, and every time I would end up backing out. I would talk about, well, on my day off I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get my ear pierced, and then I would never leave the house. First, because it was a big step for me, and second, because I am petrified of needles. Now, I've gotten over that a large extent, because when you're trans and you start going back and forth to your follow-ups, you pretty well expect that you're going to get poked at every single follow-up appointment of your doctor. So you get used to it. But at the time, I was petrified, and I was still presenting as a guy. So the way I actually did it was pretty much a spur of the moment. I was at work, it was on my lunch break, and I just stopped by where they do the piercings, and I was like, hey, why don't we go ahead and pierce my ears? And I don't mind telling you, it's a good thing I had went to the restroom before that, because I would have probably peed myself, because my nerves were just terrible. I've always heard people tell me, oh, it doesn't hurt, and I never could believe them. I mean, after all, we're talking about pushing an object through your ear and creating a hole. How can that not hurt? I was an absolute nervous wreck. Now, thankfully, the lady that we had there that day that does the piercings is absolutely fantastic. I honestly would not have let anyone else do my first piercing. And she was incredibly patient with me and calm and helped me through everything. And thankfully they did the gun. And when they did the first ear, I was pretty much in a state of shock. Everything I had been expecting, this sudden rush of pain, and it never showed up. It was like a pinch, and I'm not even talking like a real pinch. I mean, it was just a little bit of pressure, and it was done. So when she got to the second ear, I was like, no big deal, and it was just as easy as could be. And, I had those starter earrings in that I had chosen, and I chose something really simple and small, because I didn't want to be too out there at the time, because I was still massively closeted. And then you have all of that time that you have to go through and treat it, every day, and make sure that you're taking care of the front and the back and all that jazz so you don't get an infection and all that fun stuff. So I know there are people who take the little starter earrings out earlier than the 6 weeks that you're supposed to. I, however, am not that girl. I am way too petrified. And when I had finally passed the 6 weeks, I realized I could not get the backs off my earrings. I had no way. I had safety backs on. My nails were longer than they are now, and I simply could not get them off. And I was so sick of these itty-bitty, almost microscopic diamond studs. If I had to look at them one more day, I was going to lose my mind. So I went and I had bought up some earrings, which I never got to wear. And I actually went in, and the same lady that pierced my ears was able to take the back off and put the new earrings in. And then I made a screw up a few weeks, like a week or so after that. I thought, well, now I want to get adventurous with my ear piercings. So I went and bought another pair of earrings to put in. And this idiot bought ones where the post was too big. And where my piercings were still new, it not only like tore the interior of the piercing. Sorry, my earring's actually loose. But it also ended up setting up a little bit of an infection. So that was a really, really bad idea. I had to go back in. She had to take the earrings that were too large out, put in the little black earrings. And if you notice and you've watched some of my older videos, you'll realize I was wearing these little black studs for forever, months and months and months. Because when she took the other ones out and she was like, this is going to hurt putting these back in because it's, you know, really sore. And it had been kind of ripped a bit. So she put the other ones back in, and I had to start like treating all over again like I had in the beginning. And I was a nervous wreck to ever even attempt to take them out. And after so long, I actually couldn't get them out. So I eventually got a pair of hoops. She made me put the hoops in myself and showed me how to do it. And I have been absolutely crazy on my earrings ever since. Ever since then, I'm all about, you know, getting cute new earrings. The danglier, the better. Except for when I sleep. And I sleep in either a little stud or a very, very tiny, tiny hoop. But now I get the opportunity to actually enjoy it. But I had to be kind of patient with it. And I was miserable for a very long time with them. So I guess the moral of the story is if you have something you want to get done, if you have something that's going to make you feel more comfortable, girl, just go for it. Or guy. But just go for it. Do what's going to make you happy. I was really happy getting my ears pierced. I made some screw-ups along the way. But it was actually a really good experience, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. And it helped me feel more comfortable, especially in the early stages of my transition. You know, wearing a cute pair of earrings helped me feel more like I was passable. So it was well worth it for me. Anyway, that's the end of the video. That's the very, very short story time that I thought I'd tell you about. Closing with my quote from Kesha, don't let the bastards get you down. Be yourself, hold your head, or shit, that screwed up. Be yourself, keep your head held high, be proud of who you are. And until the next video and the next screw up that I'm sure I'll do here in 2 seconds, lots of love and bye-bye.